Hello, Coach Holmes here, and today we're actually going to be reviewing over Unit 8 as far as what we actually been going over before the midterms. And again, this is part of the worksheet, so I want you to follow along, write everything down, and make sure that at the end of this video, you do the assignment and turn it in at the end of class, okay? But we're going to go over a few problems just to make sure that you guys get a good understanding of this, all right? So for example, on number 1, we want to be able to find the scale factor and the corresponding parts as far as corresponding sides and the angles that are congruent to each other. So let's look at number 1 real quick. So I know that it's going from big to, so I'm going from small to big, but remember, I want to go from the, when we do scale factor, we want the image over what we call the pre-image. All right, so that means I'm going from image over pre-image. So in this case, it doesn't matter which side I pick, but I want to pick one side. So for example, I can do 39 over 13. And if I simplify that, that actually gets me 3. But what I also want to be able to do, which by the way, this is my scale factor. This is basically triple. This tripled in size. But what I want to be able to do is figure out all my congruent angles. So for example, angle L is congruent to angle Q. Angle M is congruent to angle R. Right here. This is L. Don't need that. There we go. And then lastly, angle N is congruent to angle S. And we know that because of the order that this set us up in. But I also want to figure out which lengths are similar to each other. So like for example, LM is similar to QR. MN, that's going to be similar to RS. Right here. Let me do this real quick. Here we go. And then LN right here is going to be similar to QS. All right. So this is what you're going to do for number 2. You got to figure out these things right here. All right. Next, we're going to go to number 3. All right. We want to go to number 3. So we know the triangles are similar, okay? The triangles are similar, but I want to figure out what is X here. So I got to have an X involved. But remember, X is going to be proportional to 6. Now I can pick between 5, 4.5, or 4, but to make it easy, let's say we do 5 right here. So that means I'm going to deal with a 10. So once I set this up accordingly, I want to cross multiply. So 10x equals 30. Because I'm doing 10 times x, 6 times 5. So I want to cross multiply, divide by 10, and that's going to give me x equals 3. Okay, and that's all we got to be able to do. We just got to solve for x. So right here, again, you just got to be able to set it up where you're going to cross multiply. And then 5, 6, and 7, it's the same type of problem, but this time, we got to find the scale factor, which I'm going from the pre-image to the image, okay? Just the shape. I'm not talking about this specific line, just the shape, okay? So just remember that it's the image over the pre-image. And that's how you're going to get the scale factor. You're going to figure out what angle X is, which we got to know if angle X is congruent to B, A, or C. It's going to be one of those three. And CD is right here. So you got to figure out what this X is. Okay. Next, state if the triangles in each pair are similar. If so, state how you know are similar and complete the similarity statement. So here's what we're talking about. We're talking about similarity theorems. Okay? And there's three of them we talked about. There's angle, angle, side, 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 and side, angle, side. Now remember, if you get two angles, that'll work. If you get three sides, that'll work. And if you have a side, angle, side in that order, it'll work as long as they're proportional to each other. Okay? So here, let me give you an example. So let's say I have an 18 and a 6 here. So I want to do 18 over 6. If I simplify that, that's going to give me, divided by 3. No, not that. Actually, I can divide by 6. My fault. So that gives me 3. But if I do this right here, the 18 and the 6, 18 over 6, that gives me 3. Since they're both the same, they're proportional to each other. So this works. But I got to make sure that the angles here, which is, we have vertical angles, are in between. So because we have this, we have side, angle, side. Okay? So that's how we're going to be able to figure out how they're similar. Yeah, based on side, angle, side, I'm able to say number 1 is similar. But how are they similar? What's the statement? Well, if I'm going from U to V to W, like that, I'm going to say from U to F to G. And that's my statement right there. Okay? So like for example, right here, I know the two angles are congruent. They share the same angle. So guess what? It's angle, angle. But I also got to be able to figure out how is the statement true. So if I start at U, I go to V, I go to W, guess what? I'm going to go to B. Let me do it red. I'm going to go to start at U, go to B, and then to C. And I have UBC. Okay? And then these four, again, you're doing the exact same thing. You're trying to determine if these triangles are similar. Okay? So remember, you have to have the angle, angle. Two angles are the same. They're going to be similar. If you have three sides that are all proportional to each other, you have similar figures. But if you also have a side, angle, side, and the two sides are proportional to each other, then you have similar figures. So I want you to try these yourselves. Try these yourselves. See what you can come up with. Let's get a bit of practice in. Thank you. Have a good day.